fine? Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm indeed privileged to be here with all of you. And it's nice to see such young people full of curiosity, willing and ready to listen. One of the advantages of being the last speaker is that all the good things have already been said, you know. And the important things have been said, and the last speaker has the option of saying whatever he wants to say and get away with it, you know. So probably I'll do something like that. And if you add the dinner which is waiting, so then I'll have to be very, very fast, you know. When Umesh spoke to me and invited me for this talk on high management of risk and sustaining high performance of supply chain, I said, what has that got to do with the police? So he gave me a long talk on that, you know, and said that, this, you know how professors are, you see, so, you know. So I heard him, but the one point which I remember very distinctly was that he said that you are a very good storyteller. So, and the audience loves to hear stories so that they can go off to sleep. I said, that I can manage that pretty well, you know. So you have got all the options before you to go off to sleep and listen to all the stories. People have talked about supply chain management, and I do not know, Ganesh, whether you are aware of not, that the curve which you showed about the chip sale, that's going to shoot up. And, you know, just the other day I was reading an article which said that technology has devised a chip which they can put it in the collar of the child. So it's in huge demand for the mothers, you see. The mothers can switch it on, know where the child is, you see, so that, you know, it's going to go up. So the technology thing is there. And so all the ladies are smiling, you know, I mean, you know. And the second thing, of course, Hemant, you don't know how close I am to Mahindras, you know. I got to tell you that. 1/3 of my life I spent in that Mahindra Jeep. And yeah, that's true. And that time, you know, I was just telling myself, why weren't you manufacturing those Boleros and Scorpios and Xylos for us, yeah? I mean, you know, we had to go through all that dust and, you know, the wind, everything was open. And but I can tell you one thing, that if you ever want somebody to sell your product, you call me, because I can tell you where the Jeeps have gone, you see. Nobody else knows that, you know. Through Belchi and through all the mud and everything it has gone, you know, all the massacres, everything, you know. And Dr. Sinha, you'll be surprised how close we are again to you, because all the police stations in my jurisdiction, the lockups had Navtal Godrej lock there, you see. So so it's a great this thing, you know. It's a great this thing about it, you know. So I thought that, you know, what an opportunity I've had to meet such great people, you know. Yeah. So this is it, and I've got very few slides. The agreement with the audience is like this, that I'll finish off the 7-8 slides quickly, and thereafter you'll ask me the questions, and I'll answer so that you have time left for questions and answers. But the condition is this, that all of you are going to ask me easy questions. So if it's not like 2 + 3 = 5, things like that. Don't ask me difficult questions that how do you do this and how do you do that, okay? So here we go. Right, the government sector. Ours is a continuous process on a scale, very different scale to imagine. Just think, all the roads must be kept open. Do you have any idea how many roads are there in the country? The trains must be kept moving. The police must be available 24/7. Many people don't want that, but we still have to be available 24/7, you know. The borders must be guarded 24 hours. I mean, there's no way we can say that the borders need not be guarded. So the government sector, as you will notice, the scale is very, very difficult to imagine. Most people take it for granted, as somebody pointed out, that when the bear is not available, you notice that the bear is not available and the supply chain has collapsed. Ours is a much bigger thing, and much more goes into handling it than this thing about it. So these are just hundreds of things are there. I just took three points just to make a point of this thing about it. Now, the other thing flows from that is nothing will work if there is no order. I mean, this is a very mundane kind of statement. Nothing will work if there's no order. But pause and reflect upon it, and you will realize that there is validity in that. I mean, everything has to be ordered. I mean, even if you want the guest speakers to speak, they have to be set in front so that they can put the mic fast, you see. I mean, otherwise, suppose I was sitting in that corner, this guy would have had such a problem going there, So order has to be maintained. Therefore, there must be rules made in the interest of the society. The interest is a critical word. These must be progressive, easy to understand, and capable of enforcement. This is the critical thing, capable of enforcement. You can make all the laws in the country, but if you're not capable of enforcing it, well, it doesn't go very far. So it must be capable of improvement. And the government has to make the rules and provide the instrument to enforce it. And CRP is one such instrument. CRP is just one such instrument, that's all. There are lots of other instruments which are operating, but CRP is just one of them, I'm going to take a straw poll at this point of time. How many of you have been on the receiving end of the CRP bait and stick, laughing, whatever you want to talk? Nobody, yeah? Okay, great. So I have a very friendly audience to talk about the CRP. Because I have been on the receiving end of a CRP lathi when I was in the university. So, and that was the time I realized that how, the moment you get a CRP lathi on your knee or your thighs, etc., I don't know, my thighs, you start talking here, but you start thinking about life, death, So now I would request Professor to kindly close your eyes, Professor, because this is the statement that you will not approve of. So this is the next statement is a very simple one. So this is what I understand by supply chain. The process. No, I'm just making a simple request. Why are you guys so excited about it, The process that coordinates the activities of various facets of an industry organization so that the recipient receives products and services which the organization seeks to provide. This is my understanding of supply chain, but after hearing the professor, I realize how incomplete and rudimentary this is. I don't mind it. I mean, it is my understanding about which I'm talking about. It's not the professor's understanding. So consequently, it's fine with me. Yeah. Okay. So in my context, in the context of the government and the CRP, in my context, it would be the process that coordinates the activities of various sectors of the government so that the recipient receive the product or services intended for the well-being of the society. As simple as that. So I'm not going to waste much time on that because when you start staring at it, you'll find faults with it, you see. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, now we come to the interesting things, Why was the CRP created? Certainly to wield the lathi, everybody will tell you that. But why was the CRP created or formed? CRP was created in 1939. And if you have any idea about the freedom movement which has taken place, you would know that there was a lot of fervent activity going on during that period from the mid-30s to the time of independence. And there were about more than 500 municipalities all over the country, small to big. The problem was with the small ones because the small ones were up against a lot of agitation, some flowing from the freedom movement. But as always happens with these kind of agitation, these bad elements creep in and they have a different agenda. So this force was created to basically be given to the states, to those principalities, the princely states, to handle the law and order situation there, you see. Because they didn't have the resources to mobilize sufficient police force to handle the thing, you see. So that was what it was created, you see. Now, the important thing here to understand is that what are its priorities? Priorities that I explained to you. And basically, what happened was when independence came, normally would have suspected that this thing had to go. But again, Sardar Patel was, as usual, very far-sighted. And when I was going for coffee, I saw Sardar Patel is of engineering. He didn't think about that. But Sardar Patel was very far-sighted and he realized that between the police and the military, there has to be something more than the police and less than the military. So consequently, he did not disband the CRPF. And CRPF at that time was really about 800 people or so. Some battalion in the CRP was there, and it was banded, and it was used very extensively. At that particular point of time, CRP was the only central paramilitary force of the government of India. And it expanded very rapidly, and its responsibilities ranged from guarding the border, as you must have seen in 59 hot springs, the Chinese killed 21 CRPF jawans who were patrolling the borders. So he understood then that we needed something more than the police, civil police, but less than the army, you see. So consequently, that was what it was. What are its priorities? Priorities, we don't have those priorities of producing great things, it's a much simpler priority. Our priority is just basically to protect and uphold the Constitution of India, nothing more than that. And why the need arose? And the need arose for 2-3 reasons, When India became independent and development, our freedom fighters and those things, they were interested in development of the country. India was a very poor country. And people thought that the police for the non-development expenditure, let's not spend money on the police, let's spend money on development activity. Right, back in their place, but that's the same thing. In the process, the police got completely neglected. So over the years, the police got neglected, it didn't get the resources to develop and grow, it remained untrained, it remained its performance was poor, and it continued to, everybody thought, okay, it's going on so far, let's for another 2 years, let's carry on like this. In the process, today we have reached a situation where the police is really untrained, under-equipped, badly organized, and generally underprepared to handle any kind of organized non-state parties that believe in violence. We have a major problem there. Okay. What makes it a distinct What makes it a distinct arm of the government around the country? Like I told you that we are mainly, in 1948, when India became independent, 1948, the mandate given to the Indian police was to keep this country together. And we have fought and we have kept this country together. We have fought them on the streets, we have fought them in the areas. Most people do not understand that aspect of it. However, at that time the mandate was not to investigate the crime properly. Today the mandate is changing. People want the crime to be investigated properly. People want domestic violence to be curtailed. We will do that. We have the capacity to do that. But till such time that the mandate remains to keep this country together, we fought them everywhere and they brought this country together, and we will overcome the other problems also. So that was this, and this is how what is major role. Major role is, as I pointed out, is upholding the Constitution of India. And the second thing is the fact that we are not concerned so much with crime investigation. The CRP is not concerned with crime investigation. We are more concerned with public order. I will just come to that in a minute. You will explain that. Yeah. Okay, this works. Right. So I'll just take a few minutes to talk about the organization structure which has been created over the period of time. As I told you that we started with just one battalion, about 800 people. Today we have 3,25,000 men. 3,25,000 men, and there is a huge structure. There is a huge general of police. We have a special director general. I was one of them. I was the capital in power operations. There is a special director general in Northeast, looking on those problems in Northeast. And then there is a special director general looking after Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, and the agency there. So if you got this structure, then of course there is ID, DIT under that. Then we are now more than